What's going on, guys? Tonight, got a really nice one. This is a mustard Primotalii, and this is exactly the phenotype that I'm looking for. So this, I'm going to be saving seeds for and growing next year. This is exactly what I'm looking for. That Primotalii look. A lot of people prefer the long and narrow ghost pepper kind of look to it. I prefer this one. I think this is like the gnarliest phenotype that there is. Just an opinion. Let's see if I can get this tail cut so I'm not ruining it. They often have that curve, so they can be kind of difficult. Ooh. It smells fruity and grassy. Let's see, I don't know if you can see the puddles down inside there. Really, really cool looking interior. That's exactly why I'm going for this phenotype. This is the phenotype I prefer, both inside and out. Just a preference. Like I said, the often selected one is the very ghost pepper type looking pheno, long, skinny. Sometimes it's got a nice crinkle in the middle. Looks like it's bent over itself. But I love when they get the bulbs on the end here and then the tail coming out. I love that. So I just want to steal a few of these seeds. I was told that these actually taste pretty good, so we're going to find out. This is fresh out of the garden. I've been eyeing this pheno up for a while now, since it first started growing on the plant. I've been waiting for it to get ripe. And I actually don't even know if it's fully ripe yet. It's really hard to tell with these because they're marked as mustard on the plant, and pretty much up until I left it sit overnight, it had a very like caramely look to it. It looked very caramel. So I didn't think they were going to come out as mustard. But this one actually is starting to take on that mustard look. And it looks even more like it on camera. In person, it still has a brownish tint to it. Almost kind of looks caramel. But mustard Primotalii. Very juicy. Fruity. Really, really fruity. Picking up some citrus notes. Mm. Mm. All right, so the initial bite, super juicy. It was very fruity and very citrusy. No grassiness, surprisingly. It smelled very grassy, so I was expecting that as a flavor, and it had no grassiness. It was fruity and citrusy, maybe a touch earthy. Heat's ramping in really quick. It's a really aggressive burn. Excuse me, pepper. Say it immediately jumped into a 4, already going up to a 5. Still just a really good citrusy flavor in my mouth. It still tastes the fruitiness. Surprisingly, not as much floral as I expected either. Maybe a tiny little hint, but it was so, like, almost overpoweringly fruity and citrusy. Absolutely delicious. Really good heat too. It is aggressive. Feel my eyes starting to tear up. It's the whole mouth, roof of my mouth, top of my tongue. My lips are burning a little bit. In the very back, where it meets the throat. It's really starting to dig into the throat now. Excuse me, pepper. This one ramped up. Say I'm at a good 6. It feels like it wants to keep going though. Primotalis are just absolutely gnarly. Everything about them is vicious. Their level of heat, how quickly they ramp in. So now that the burn is at its peak, I'd say I made it up to a 7. I'm sitting at a very solid 7 right now. It's getting intense. It's actually getting painful. But as soon as that really ramped up to the point where it was starting to peak, the flavor is gone. I just have a peppery flavor in my mouth. All the way up until then, it was fruity and citrusy. The two by far most dominant flavors. And this one's getting everywhere. Feel my nose starting to run. This one's ferocious. Every time you think it's going to start letting up, it doesn't. It just keeps coming. It's such an aggressive burn. I think that's why people say that the Primatalis are the hottest, because the burn is so aggressive and so intense. And although most of the time it ramps up, peaks, and drops quickly, sometimes it feels like it takes a while. Just when you think you're peaking, it's still going. Once it finally peaks, it may come down quick, but burn's definitely dropping down. But I can still just feel how aggressive it was on my mouth. This one almost, I'd say it hurts more than it burns. So you don't just feel heat. It is a painful burn. It's still not letting up. It dropped a little bit in heat, but felt it drop a little bit there. There we go. Okay. So it was dropping in heat, but the pain was still there. So that was a really weird sensation. It's usually the hotter it gets, the more pain you feel. This one got to a pain level where it almost didn't even feel like it was burning. It just hurt. But as soon as that pain started dropping off, and that's why I was talking about the scale of burn to intensity, or burn to pain, basically. This one's high on both. But like I said, at one point, it got to a pain level that was, I'd say, higher than the burn. Excuse me, pepper burp. That one's definitely not for the faint of heart. Any Primotalii. Man, that one was vicious. I can feel everything start coming down. Curious whether I'm going to start getting the flavor popping back up in my mouth. You can hear it stuffed my nose up. So it's starting to dissipate pretty quickly from the mouth. I do still feel it in the throat. It's still digging into the throat a little bit. Such a brutal pod. Burn's almost gone, and I still haven't gotten any flavor left in my mouth. I mean, that was such a pleasant flavor. I hope I get that back. Might come back up in burps later on, but yeah, burn's pretty much gone. Never got any flavor back. Like I said, hopefully I get a burp later on that the flavor comes back up on that one, because that was a very, very tasty pod. Really aggressive burn. Which is why they put Primotalii as like the pepper to compare things to, because those things are ridiculous. Warthogs are right up there with it, but the way they burn is so characteristically different. It's almost like they hold separate categories for the number one spot. So after a really good burn like that, sometimes your mouth almost feels kind of numb. That's where my mouth's at right now. No more burn and no more flavor. I'll leave you with that. All right, guys, burn daily.